Ninja.
I'm Chad Young with the Obstacle Ninja, and today I'm going to show you how to build my version of the quad steps.
Ninja.
So right here we're using this as a 24-inch box jump. It's also a quad step with a 54-degree slope. That's what those gray taller quad steps are. They have a 54-degree slope. Now the idea was to be able to turn this on its side like so, which is a little bit easier of a slope, but so it changes the angle there. As you can see, it's a pretty sturdy box. It's not moving. If you hit it up high, it moves a little bit, but it still isn't like the other taller steps that, you know, could possibly like fall over. Now, another thing that I found when building this box was that I could flip it upside down and create two angles. And so this is just basically has 4 different angles on it that you can use. And this makes it where you can run it on 2 lanes. So if you had 4 of these boxes down the middle and 4 down each side, you basically have 2 sets of quad steps, so you can run more lanes. And right here I'm just kind of showing how you can move these around, and as we make more, we'll show you what that will look like. We made these boxes with just squares. So the idea was to be able to ship to a customer a box of these, and it would just come in basically a 24-inch by 24-inch box. And so I wanted to make it as simple as possible, and I think I like the product that turned out. This is just a demo box, so we use like a CDX plywood. So we actually think that the Craig jig that we use to put the box together, that we can hide all of the joints. We're also going to put handles in it. So this, I just used a crappier piece of plywood just so that I could go ahead and kind of figure out the design as I went. And I built a few quad steps in my day, so this is kind of what I came up with, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So right now I'm just rounding over all of the edges. I'm just using a 1/4-inch round over bit. We just do that with just like the jump boxes. You don't want to use too much of a round over bit because, you know, you can kick this thing and you don't want it to be too round and possibly tip over. This one's less likely to do that even with a larger round over, but I just used a 1/4-inch round over bit with my Bosch router, and it turned out fine. It's just not, it's less sharp, so if you were to run into it, it's not going to hurt as much as a straight 90-degree corner. The other thing is with this, we're still testing the faceplate. So my table saw only goes to 45 degrees on this angled cut for the faceplate, and my skill saw actually can go up to 54 degrees. So I cut this one a little bit too much, and we were going to have it extend past the face a little bit to give it a little bit of a lip. But instead, people, when they're doing the box jumps, they didn't like that little corner up there. So they basically asked for it to be flush with the box. So we're going to try out a couple variations, and then we'll add to this video once we experiment with it a few more weeks. So this box is up for interpretation. If you want, you know, more of an angle on it, go for it. If you want less of an angle on it, go for it. These are just 24-inch by 24-inch squares, and basically we're actually going to trim that down to 23-inch by 23-inch squares, and that's going to allow us basically, whenever we put the top 3/4-inch piece of plywood and the bottom on it, it's going to come out to 24 inches. So and again, right here I'm just trying to make this flush at the top because nobody wanted a lip that extended out past that edge, which was what I originally thought I was going to do. but instead when people were jumping on the top of it said, oh, I don't like that little edge right there. So we're trying to make it flush, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. But again, if you make these at home on your own or at your gym, you can do what works best. You can always start with the lip and then cut it down later if you don't like it. Again, it's just a 23-inch by 23-inch box. And actually the 3 angled cuts, once you have that angle, you can cut all 3 of those pieces the exact same length. So you're basically going to have 2 full squares, 3 angled 54-degree cuts, and then a couple of little trim pieces, and you basically have the box. And if you purchase the blueprints, you'll see the exact specifications, cuts, every angle that we did, how we did it, what tools we used. So again, this box is up for interpretation, but we really like the way it turned out. And you're going to be able to see here that at the bottom there, I cut this a little bit too much, but that's okay because again, this is our demo model, and now that I kind of know what I'm doing with it and how I'm going to continue to build them, I'll use a nicer piece of plywood. But for now, this thing's ready to go.